Born in Paris, Kentucky, March 4th, 1877. I was the seventh of 11 children. My mother, Elizabeth, was of Indian and African descent. I wasn't quite clear who my father was. He was either Confederate Colonel John Hunt I or Sidney I. But I would use my mixed race to further my business adventures as an adult. When I was a teen, I moved to Cincinnati, Ohio to look for work, and I found it working as a handyman for a very wealthy landowner. I wasn't able to achieve much more than an elementary education, so I used the money from my job to further my education by hiring a private tutor. But it was the jobs in the sewing machine factories that really caught my attention. So I got a job in one of the factories to learn how the inner workings of the machine and how to repair them. And then it's there that I developed a patent for my own sewing machine and opened my own company. And I used the success from that business to marry a Bavarian woman, and we had 3 sons. While taking part in this business, my wife and I, Mary, who was an esteemed seamstress, we came across a problem. You see, the needle would move so fast in the machine that would cause friction and scorch the material, specifically wool. So I tried to develop a solution that I can use to reduce the friction. But then I noticed something. Every time I would use this solution, the hairs would become straighter on the wool. So I tested this solution on different dog fur and was even bold enough to test the solution on my own hair. And it was a success. So I opened the G.A. Morgan Hair Refining Company. And business was huge, specifically within the black population. So I used the money from that to further my business adventures. In 1914, I developed a safety device or safety hood, a breathing device, where individuals who were wearing it would be able to breathe where there was pollutants, gas, or smoke. And it was the prototype from that safety device that was used as the gas mask in World War I. Well, it was kind of difficult for me to sell these devices because I was a black inventor, specifically in the South where racial tensions were extremely high. So me, always being able to fix things, I came up with a solution. I hired a white actor to portray me. So the white actor was the inventor, and I was his sidekick. And I was a Native American man known as Big Chief Mason. And I would put on the hood and, I would wear it in different places where it was deemed unsafe to show how the device worked. Business blew up. And I sold so many devices specifically to fire departments and safety workers. Well, in 1916, the city of Cleveland began digging tunnels underneath Lake Erie because they wanted to improve their water supply. And the diggers hit a gas pocket, and there was an explosion. Several men were trapped in the tunnels. So my brother and I quickly grabbed a safety device or our gas mask and ran down to assist. And we were able to save 2 lives and recover 4 bodies before they shut down the recovery efforts. But it was from that rescue effort that they found out that the inventor of the gas mask was black. Needless to say, sales plummeted at that point. I was nominated for the Carnegie Medal of Honor, but I didn't get it. Maybe because that was my fault. I tried to use my mixed race, and I tried to use my marriage to a white woman, and I tried to use a guy to portray an inventor of my inventions. So it was there that I began. I began to walk as a black man. I began to walk as a black inventor. And I was the first black man to own a car in the city of Cleveland. So I invented a patent for the drive friction clutch that was used in cars. And one day I was watching to see how they work, and I was sitting at a very busy traffic stop where I saw a very bad car accident with a carriage. So me, wanting to fix things, I developed a patent for the traffic stop. And it was a rudimentary version of the three-way traffic stop that you see used in the United States, Britain, and Canada. And I sold that patent to General Electric for $40,000. You know, as an adult, I began to get more involved in the black community. I gave back to the black colleges and invested in the education. I was a part of the NAACP. I even started my own country club for blacks only. I developed my own paper, the Cleveland Call. But I always noticed that everything I did, God always blessed it. It wasn't until 1963, right before my death, that the United States began to allow me my place in history as an inventor of the gas mask and as the rescuer at Lake Erie. All because I allowed God to bless it. My name is Garrett Augustus Morgan, and this is another moment in Black history.